माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जसोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना जसोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना जसोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना जमुना तीर वनचारे जमुना तीर वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra Radha.
Jai Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe.
Jayo Gaurang Nitai, Jayo Gaurang Nitai.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Sadashi Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Sadashi Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavani Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 14th chapter, text number 29. Brahmadayo yatkrita setupala yatkaranam vishvamidam cha maya Ajñakari yasya pishachacharya Aho vibhumnas charitam vidhambanam Brahmadayo yatkrita setupala yatkaranam vishvamidam cha maya Ajñakari yasya pishachacharya Aho vibhumnas charitam vidhambanam. What word meaning? Brahmadayaha, demigods like Brahma, Yat, Ooze, Krita, activities, Setu, religious rites, Palaha, observers, Yat, one who is, Karanam, the origin of, Vishwam, the universe, Idam, this, Cha, also, Maya, material energy, Agnyakari, order carrier, Yasya, ooze, Pishacha, devilish, Charya, activity, Aho, O my Lord, Vibhumnaha, of the great, Charitam, character, Vidambanam, simply imitation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: demigods like Brahma also follow the religious rites observed by him. He is the controller of the material energy which causes the creation of this material world. He is great and therefore his devilish characteristics are simply imitation. Please repeat the translation. Demigods like Lord Brahma also follow the religious rites observed by him. He is the controller of the material energy which causes the creation of the material world. He is great and therefore his devilish characteristics are simply imitation. Purport: Lord Shiva is the husband of Durga, the controller of material energy. Durga is personified material energy, and Lord Shiva, being her husband, is the controller of the material energy. He is also the incarnation of the mode of ignorance and one of the three deities representing the Supreme Lord. As his representative, Lord Shiva is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is very great, and his renunciation of all material enjoyment is an ideal example of how one should be materially unattached. One should therefore follow in his footsteps and be unattached to matter, not imitate his uncommon acts like drinking poison. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nithiramine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Brahmadayo yatkrita setupala yatkaranam vishwamidam cha maya Agnyakari yasya pishachacharya aho vibhumnas charitam vidambanam. Demigods like Brahma also follow the religious rites observed by him. He is the controller of the material energy which causes the creation of the material world. He is great and therefore his devilish characteristics are simply imitation. So further descriptions of Lord Shiva's qualities are spoken by Maitreya Rishi. And in this, the reference is given that Lord Shiva is even worshipped or followed by as great a personality as Lord Brahma himself. One of the very important aspects of ascertaining the status of anyone is basically what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yadyad acharita shrestha tadda deve tarojana. Whatever shreshtas, what actions they perform, the rest of the society, they follow those actions. So that gives us not always 100%, but yes, that gives us an indication of a qualified person. So we can see here in this material verse, in this material world, or rather the creator of this material world, Brahma, he himself is trying to follow Lord Shiva. So that shows that Lord Shiva's position is a very exalted position, not some kind of the many controllers of this material creation. No. He is not one among the many. Just like Krishna is Adipurusha, the one person. Lord Shiva is also just one step below. So we must be careful how we see and perceive him. So Bhagavatam is mentioning here how we have to see Lord Shiva. Unless and until one is very deeply not understood the subject matters, devotees can get carried away, can get can come to wrong judgments. When I say carried away, like for example, when we come into Krishna consciousness newly, so we repeatedly hear about the various aspects of the supremacy of Lord Krishna. We hear about the subordination of the rest of the devatas. Right? So, when we hear this, then we become very our perception or presentation of devatas, including Lord Shiva, Brahma, and everybody, becomes very, very casual. So we must be careful because Yes, when you compare it with Krishna, any of these personalities are nowhere near Lord Krishna. Nor should you see them on the same wavelength. Krishna's position and the rest of the Devatas' position are definitely different. In fact, the scriptures say that anyone who sees Lord Shiva and Vishnu on the same line, sa pashandi bhava, he should be considered a pashandi. But sometimes these references, due to incomplete understanding of the various positions, we try to minimize and disrespect the various devatas. So we should be a little careful about it. We should never minimize and disrespect. A Vaishnava means he respects everyone. Even a very fallen soul also, he says, you are a great person. That is the nature of a Vaishnava. So whereas the devatas, these are all the various demigods, they are not ordinary living entities. They are devas. Manushya is one level. Devatas are different platform altogether. So there is a need for giving them respect, not undue respect. Whatever is due respect to them, that has to be given to them. So that giving due respect, how to give them that due respect? That requires some amount of maturity, proper understanding. So that maturity and proper understanding will come only when we thoroughly understand the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, the knowledge that is derived from Srimad Bhagavatam. Through that we will be able to understand how we can give respect to not only other demigods but to also other Vaishnavas, how to see everyone in proper context. A neophyte devotee, a new devotee, he has no idea. He gives not only with respect to the devatas, with respect to the demigods, but even to other devotees also. He is not able to properly give the right degree of respect and things like that. So that is why in an organization, somebody is given a position. Okay, you be president, you be vice president, you be something else, you be temple commander. Because material world, because there is a lack of proper judgment, he can only value position. Just like, for example, in the material world, they are so gross. They don't have the subtle intelligence to recognize the qualities per se. So they are seeing, like for example, if you go in the material world, somebody sees, oh, ye to 3-star police inspector hai. If he has 3 stars, that shows some level. If he has 2 stars, one position. If he has that emblem, then that is IPS cadre. So even in the army, anywhere like these forces, so if that is the thing, They see what star, what this one, then only they will respect. And according to that, the grade of respect reduces or goes higher. So in our organization also, we are picking up people from the road. Virtually like that only. Anybody who comes, we give him a mala, he chants a little bit. He comes from different families, different houses, different prarabdhas. He is not able to recognize what is the level. He sees all material basis. All his calculations and understandings are very, very neophyte ways. So that is why, even though it is a spiritual organization, somebody can ask, oh, why is that in spiritual organization also you have hierarchy, categories and all those kind of things. It needs to be done. It's a material reality. There's a material need because on your own, people don't recognize that. Sometimes it needs to be told. No, you are this, you need to recognize that. This is that devotee is in this position, you have to recognize that. If the devotees were very matured in recognizing, then these all things need not be artificially imposed. Sometimes within an organization, things have to be artificially imposed. It's like artificially somebody has to put a medal, you see, to recognize the level of that person. It looks very silly. Hey, see, I have 3 medals. I have 4 medals. I have 4 stars. In the material world, people anchor for all these kind of things. Crazy about all these things. That I have got, when will I get one more star? When will I get one more this one? So that, in the community, my status will go up. It's a competition to gain name, fame, recognition. Whereas in a spiritual context, the idea is how I can develop an interest in Krishna consciousness from these more elevated souls in Krishna consciousness. That is the purpose. In the material world, everybody is, the more the stars is, the more the respect that individual gets. And he is happy that, see, I have got much more respect, I have got much more position. Virtually, what does it do? It just boosts his false ego. His pride and arrogance will increase. Virtually, it is a downfall for that living entity. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our prayer, what he says, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. I don't want any of all these things. I don't want big wealth. I don't want big followers. I don't want association of very beautiful women. All I want is to be in the service of your Lordship, life after life. That is the mood of a devotee. Sometimes people are, when we ask people, devotees, neophyte consciousness, Prabhu, please tell us how Vishnu is supreme, how Shiva is subordinate, what are the extra qualities, what is this, how does it make? So much of debate sometimes happens. No, Vishnu has this quality extra, this much, that much. It is okay from the point of view and understanding from the Shastric understanding that is required. But the nature of asking these questions is basically to find pleasure that I am, Vishnu is supreme or Shiva is lower, something like that. That is the real intention of doing all these things. Whereas Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu don't see, even if they meet each other also, they don't see like that. They don't recognize that he is supreme, or sometimes, many times people quote this example that how Lord Ramachandra worshipped Lord Shiva. Rameshwaram is that one only, no? In Rameshwaram, Lord Shiva worshipped the linga form of the Lord. Lord Ramachandra is recognizing Lord Shiva. So how is, that means Shiva is superior to Lord Rama. Actually, these calculations are very foolish based on these kind of external aspects. Bhagavatam is giving very balanced understanding about Shiva's position, Brahma's position, Vishnu's position, Durga's position. They are all part of this. They are various limbs of the Lord. Yes, if you go strictly objectively, they are not the same. But yet, externally to debate on all these things, based on all these things, is not the right way to go about it. We should not indulge in that. We start ending up doing aparadh to the deities. Our small mind cannot grasp all these things. We start making big mistakes. That nuance, in English we say nuance. Nuance means just like if you take a balance, a weight balance, a taraju. You can see for that right balance, both equal position, if it has to come, then you can see when we go and buy some material from the shop, we say, give me half kilo oil or half kilo dal. So that fellow will take from the sack and then he will put it into that tarazu vessel, and one side will be half kilo this one. So you see, he takes and puts something, then he takes little more and puts, then it becomes little more, then he takes out little bit. You see, refinement of our intelligence should be like that. Our intelligence also, sometimes we go little excess, we go little low. No. The right balance we must understand. How to understand all these things. So that is why deep study of Srimad Bhagavatam is required. Deep understanding of the scriptures is required. So deep understanding of these kind of, TV debate type things. And based on that TV debates, judgments are not given. People make fun of it. TV is not the place where you can decide who is right or who is wrong. Sometimes in the TV debates you can see, there are two characters and they are fighting each other, argument. But if you go to the court, that is, you cannot argue like that. Court is serious matter. Disputes are taken up in the court. The way in which the TV debate is done to decide whether he is wrong or right, and the way in which disputes are dealt with in the court is different. In the court, if you speak like this and all, like how you are speaking, that the judge will tell, get out from the court. You have to give written submission. Every argument, how you are right or wrong, whatever is there, first you give it right. And then first the defense lawyer will be given the time. Hey, you speak now. And then he will argue, this. You cannot interrupt like this and all. You will have to just sit and hear. Then your time will come. That time you speak. The judge will just sit, hear both the sides silently. Deeply, full details will be there. Whereas how is the TV debate? You will see 10 people put together and 10 people are shouting. Nobody knows what they are speaking. That is called a kangaroo court. You know kangaroo? What does it do, kangaroo? It will be jumping up and down. Kangaroo is a jumping person. He is a jumping person. So, kangaroo courts are not accepted in society. So, similarly, when we have to understand scriptures, you have to debate or you have to talk about the positions of Lord Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, all those kind of things, no? We should also do. Bahut uchalna nahi hai. Sometimes we get into this very baseless, very silly arguments on all these kind of things. We should avoid such kind of things. Because there is a deep understanding of that which comes by in-depth understanding of all the subject matters. Same way with Ras Leela, Krishna to ho hai, wo hai. People will talk. These are all very deep subjects, not to be spoken about very loosely. Somebody who does like that, no, they are called loose cannons. There is no gravity. Just like you see Prabhupada, many devotees will say, oh, so grave. A devotee is very grave. One of the quality of his is very grave. He is not very loose. He speaks with depth, with understanding, with proper understanding. So when we read Bhagavatam, like for example, if you see our initial days of Krishna consciousness, oh, as soon as we understood Krishna, oh, we have heard everything, and then you are going full blast. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Yes, it's good. But then there is a way to do these things. Then slowly as we go on, we understand other different perspectives of all these instructions. Then our response will be much more sober understanding. Not that we minimize Krishna's position. Krishna's position is the Supreme Lord, no doubt about it. But we must know how to present it also. So Bhagavatam is again refining our understanding. It is refining our understanding more and more and more. So the exalted qualities of Lord Shiva we must recognize. The episode of Daksha, where Daksha did not recognize Lord Shiva's qualities, committed great offense just by calculating on the external aspects of Lord Shiva. Daksha committed one offense after another. That is the nature of offense. Offense is such a thing that especially when you do one offense, it will trigger another offense. And that will trigger another offense. That's why it is considered committing offenses against other Vaishnavas is a mad elephant offense. Mad elephant type of characteristic. Mad elephant, it has got no control over itself. Just goes mad, berserk. It doesn't know what it is doing. The nature of offensive behavior is like that. We'll have no control. We continue to do so many things. So, Lord Shiva is an exalted person, no doubt about it. There's a nice prayer composed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, somebody had shared it with me. So, we will just glorify those uh, verses that are there. So, it is said that these are 8 prayers glorifying Lord Shiva, which was spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is recorded in Murari Gupta's Sri Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya. Very nicely composed, in which we can sing as Vaishnavas, authorized prayers for Lord Shiva. So we will sing and chant these prayers. Namo namaste Trishadaseshwaraya Bhutadinataya Mridaya Nityam Gangatarango Titabalachandra Chudaya Gauri Nayanotsavaya. I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you, the controller of the 30 primal demigods, the original father of all created beings, unto you whose character is gracious, unto you whose head is crested by the sickle moon, arisen from the waves of the Ganga. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki. And unto you who are the festival for the eyes of the fair goddess Gauri. Sutaptachami Karachandra Neela Padma Pravalam Budakanti Visvastare. Sanityarangeshtavara Kaivalyanataya Vrishadvajaya. I offer my obeisances unto you who are dressed in garments resembling molten gold, the moon, blue lotuses, coral, and dark rhine clouds. Unto you who bestow the most desirable boons on your devotees by means of your delightful dancing, unto you who are the master of the impersonalists, and unto you whose flag bears the image of the bull. Sudham susuryaagni vilochanena tamo bhidete jagata shivaya. Sahasra subramshu sahasra rashmi sahasra sanjit tvara tejasestu. I offer my obeisances unto you who dispels darkness with your 3 eyes, the moon, the sun, and fire. Unto you who causes auspiciousness for all the living entities of the universe, and unto you whose potency easily defeats that of the thousands of moons and suns. Nagesha Ratnojvala Vigrahaya Sardula Charmam Sukha Divya Tejase. Sahasrapatropari samstitaya Varangadha Mukta Bhujadvayaya. I offer my obeisances unto you whose form is brilliantly illuminated by the jewels of Ananta, the king of snakes, unto you who are clothed by a tiger skin and thus radiate divine effulgence, unto you who sits upon a 1,000-petaled lotus and unto you whose two arms are adorned by lustrous bangles. सूनूपुररञ्जितपादपद्माक्षरत्सुधाभृत्यसुखप्रदाया विचित्ररत्नौगविभूषिताया प्रेमानमेवाद्यहरौ विधेयी I offer my obeisances unto you who brings happiness to your servitors. As you pour on them the liquid nectar from your two reddish lotus feet, which ring with charming ankle bells, obeisances unto you who is adorned with an abundance of gems, please endow me with pure love for Lord Hari. Shri Rama Govinda Mukunda Saure, Shri Krishna Narayana Vasudeva. इत्यादि नामामृतपानमत्ता भृङ्गादिपाया किल दुःखहन्त्रे. O Shri Rama, O Govinda, O Mukunda, O Shauri, O Shri Krishna, O Narayana, O Vasudeva, I offer my obeisances unto you, Lord Shiva, the monarch of intoxicated bee-like devotees, maddened by drinking the nectar of these and other holy names of the Lord. Obeisances unto you, the destroyer of all grief. Shri Naradhadyai satatam sugopya jignasita yasuvara pradhaya. तेभ्यो हरेर्भक्तिसुखप्रदाय शिवाय सर्वा गुरवे नमो नमः. I offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto you, who is forever inquired of confidentiality by Sri Narada and other sages. Unto you who also grants favors to them very quickly. Unto you who bestows the happiness of Haribhakti unto you. Who creates auspiciousness, and unto you who is the Guru of everyone. Shri Gauri Netro Savadmangalaya Tat Prananataya Rasapradhaya. Sada Samutkanta Govinda Leela Gana Pravinaya Namostu Tubhyam. I offer my obeisances unto you, who are a festival of auspiciousness for the eyes of Goddess Gauri, unto you who is the monarch of her life breath, unto you who is capable of bestowing transcendental rasa, and unto you who is expert in forever singing songs of the pastimes of Lord Govinda with great longing. Etat shivastyakam adbhutam mahat shrinvan hari prema labeta sigram. Jnanam cha vijnanam apurva vaibhavam yo bhava purna paramam samadharam. A person filled with loving feelings, who hears with rapt attention this wonderful eightfold prayer to Lord Shiva, can quickly gain Sri Hari Prema as well as transcendental knowledge, the realization of that knowledge and unprecedented powers. Shiva Tattva is extremely complex. The principle of Brahma is not as complicated, because Lord Brahma is always a jiva, a finite spirit soul. Sometimes when there is no qualified jiva, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna's expansion, personally takes the post of Brahma, but that is very rare. Lord Shiva is not like that. He is not a finite soul. After passing through the 8 material coverings and after crossing the Viraja, the river that divides the material world and the spiritual world, and the planet of Lord Brahma, the highest material planet, one comes to the planet of Shiva. There he is known as Sadashiva, a manifestation of Vishnu. One meaning of Shiva is auspicious. Worship of Lord Shiva is recommended for the inauspicious persons who are in ignorance so that they gradually come to the modes of passion and goodness and then they are liberated. Shiva has got connection with this material world, therefore he is called father and the material energy is called mother. And because he has connection with this illusory energy, therefore he is not exactly God. God has got nothing to do with this material energy. Illusory energy, he is never illusion. But Lord Shiva has connection with Durga, the material energy. Therefore, his position is between the living entity and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments. No, we have not told about worshipping Shiva. But we have to see the position of Lord Shiva. Vaishnavas are not recommended to worship Shiva. When we worship Lord Krishna or Vishnu, it automatically indicates that we are worshipping Lord Shiva. So there is no independent worship of Lord Shiva. What we are doing is, Shiva is like a guru. Just like we worship Srila Prabhupada, we worship Guru. So in that mode we can treat Lord Shiva. But there is no aradhana of that. Somebody is dedicated to Lord Shiva. Prabhupada in one place translate Shiva worshippers as, I'll tell you that. I read that recently. Wherein it says people who are in the atheistic frame of mind, they are the worshippers of Lord Shiva. See, this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam only. Bhavavrata dhara che bhavavrata dhara yecha tan samunavrataha pashandinaste bhavantu satchastra paripantitau. So here it is saying, one who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. Somebody who says, I will worship only Lord Shiva, it says that one who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. Purport. It is sometimes seen that the devotees of Lord Shiva imitate the characteristics of Lord Shiva. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, so some of the followers of Lord Shiva imitate him and try to take intoxicants like ganja. Here the curse is that if someone follows such principles, he must become an infidel and turn against the principles of Vedic regulation. It is said that such devotees of Lord Shiva will be Satchastra Paripantinaha, which means opposed to the conclusion of Shastra or scripture. This is confirmed in the Padma Purana also. Lord Shiva was ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to preach the impersonal or Mayavada philosophy for a particular purpose, just as Lord Buddha preached the philosophy of voidness for particular purposes mentioned in the Shastras. Sometimes it is necessary to preach a philosophical doctrine which is against the Vedic conclusion. In the Shiva Purana it is stated that Lord Shiva said to Parvati that in Kali Yuga, the body of a Brahmana, he would preach the Mayavadi philosophy. Thus it is generally found that the worshippers of Lord Shiva are Mayavadi followers. Lord Shiva himself says, Mayavadam Asat Shastram. Asat Shastra, as explained here, means the doctrine of Mayavadi, impersonalism or becoming one with the Supreme. Bhrigumuni cursed that persons who worship Lord Shiva would become the followers of this Mayavada Asat Shastra. which attempts to establish that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is impersonal. Besides that, among the worshippers of Lord Shiva, there is a section who live a devilish life. Srimad Bhagavatam and Narada Pancharatra are considered authorized scriptures that are considered Sat Shastra, or scriptures which lead one to the path of God realization. Asat Shastra are just the opposite of Lord Shiva. They will become bhutas and pretas there. So that is the planet that they will reach. Hmm. No, no. See, Mayavadis are sattvic. It's not that they are not sattvic. But here it's saying very clearly that Mayavadis is a atheistic platform. See, the thing is that we have to go by what is the Shastric conclusions, what is the Acharya saying. Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada is saying that. So we accept that. We must not go by sentiments. We must go by what is the Acharyas, what is the Bhagavatam talking about. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.